Look at here. Look what we got. It's a San Francisco multifamily building, and it's not a bad multifamily building by any means. I mean, looks good, pretty good facade. The plot of land that's built on looks pretty alright, and it's in Hayes Valley. Now, kind of full of a lot of crackheads and people doing fentanyl and a lot of crime, but before, it was a place where a lot of Uber guys, Twitter guys, and Reddit employees all hung out and worked. So if you look at this building, it was purchased in 2016 for $6 whopping million. And back in 2016, everyone wanted a piece of San Francisco real estate. Tech around that area was going up. You got crypto getting more popular, VR. A lot of companies, new companies, tech, Uber, Lyft, were all getting super big, super fat. And everyone was going to San Francisco. The VCs were all there. And then after the pandemic, for some reason, the landlord decided to take a massive loss, sells it for $3.75 million, nearly a 50% drop in price. So what happened? So the first rumor about this is the San Francisco real estate sector is pretty bad, and it's way worse than the national average right now. If you look at San Francisco, rents are down, and not to mention housing prices are down. But more importantly, the rents. In fact, some of the most popular buildings in San Francisco, like the NEMA building, which is supposed to be always full because it's right next to X headquarters, which originally is called Twitter. It's next to the Reddit HQ, the Uber HQ. So why is this building, this massive multifamily building of over 700 units, going bankrupt? Well, there's not enough renters. A lot of tech companies are laying off workers. Workers are being laid off every single day at this point. Tech layoffs are surging this month. Etsy, Zillow, LinkedIn are all cutting workers. And it's not great. Yes, unemployment went down, but the number of high-paying jobs from tech is dropping like a rock. So you also have that, plus a lot of big tech companies are just simply leaving San Francisco, and many of the employees are working online or remote. So there's really not that much demand for multifamily buildings. Not to mention the laws in San Francisco when it comes to tenants, they could essentially squat in these buildings for as long as possible, and you can't do anything about it. But I gotta admit, for a building of this size, selling for a measly $3.75 million is not something that you see. If you go to Hong Kong and you shell out 3.75 million USD, you're probably getting like a 1,700 or max 2,000 square feet condo, not even like a whole entire townhouse. Go to Manhattan, you would not get a townhouse for $3.75 million. You're going to get a 2-bedroom, 1,500 square feet condo, and you call it a day. Not like a whole entire building. This building's like pretty fat too. 8,000 square feet, 6-unit apartment. That's such a great unit. And San Francisco's rental market is just doing really bad, right? You got property taxes at a record high. You got HOA at a record high. You got employee salaries and minimum wage going up. Not to mention home insurance and everything's getting more expensive. So if you ask me, it's probably a right decision to sell. San Francisco's rental market experiences the steepest decline since 2021. Median prices and demand absolute tank. And by the way, just to let you know, $1 million back in 2016 is worth so much more than $1 million now. With all the money printing and the crazy inflation, cracked inflation is so high, they don't even have the dollar menu anymore. $1 million today is worth so much less than before, especially 2016. So the losses, in my opinion, are greater than 40-50%. It's probably like 60-70% in my opinion. And look at this. A looming crash in multifamily rents is a hard landing inbound. One of the biggest things is a lot of the smaller landlords, like people who own these 6-unit multifamily buildings, they cannot compete with the massive construction that's happening. And guess what? This mass construction is also tanking rents. Just right across the San Francisco-Oakland Bridge, you got Oakland. And Oakland rents have absolutely tanked. If you check out the Oakland Basin, which is this area filled with new construction apartments, they built so much that they tank rents by almost double-digit percentages. It got so bad that construction companies are now stopping the building because there's so many apartments they can't rent out. They've halted construction in the Brooklyn Basin of Oakland, which is supposed to be fully completed by now. But they had to stop it, like I said, because it's literally destroying the rent around the area. And that's what's happening here. Simple supply and demand, right? There's so much supply, not enough demand. And this is why you have such good high-end buildings like these selling for pennies in the dollar. If you go to other major cities in 2016, you purchased for $6 million, chances are you probably already doubled your money, right? You'd probably be selling this for $12, $15 million. Not San Francisco. It's pretty bad. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Make sure to check out the private Discord server, guys, for some really amazing trades.